And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it's Sunday. It's Father's Day as we record this. How you doing?
I'm great. You're right. It's Sunday. It's Father's Day. Of course, it's another episode of GI, Brad. I'm feeling blessed, man. It's been a good weekend. Coming off of a really great week. You are the dad on the show. I need to pass it to you. How was your Father's Day?
My Father's Day was great. I'll get into it in a little bit with an edition of Someday when you have kids. Looking forward to that one. Father's Day was very special. We went out yesterday for our anniversary dinner and our anniversary dessert after that, trying to figure out where to go and what to do. I always want to go to Bottega Michelangelo's, and we went to the Parish for dinner, and then we went to Michelangelo's for drinks and some dessert afterward. Hard to say no to tiramisu, and had a really fun night. And then today we got to celebrate dads. I got some new kitchen knives. I've been complaining about our dumpy knives for years because they just don't cut. I don't have a good knife sharpener. All of those things, and these. This
is a very dad thing, by the way.
100%. This will cut through a car.
This checks out.
Yeah. When they came out, they were in long boxes, and I was like, "You got me ties? Like, what am I going to do with this? Look at the shirt I'm wearing right now. I got, in honors of last year's Father's Day, I got Winnie and Freya on my shirt. I don't want a tie.
The shirt has really become a part of GI history. I think we referenced it not too long ago. What was the last major celebration when you wore that? Was it your birthday?
Probably, yeah. Well, I didn't wear it on my birthday, but I don't think anyway. I'm not sure. I've worn it a couple of times this year, but like two or three tops.
Every time it's special.
Yeah. It's a reminder. So it was great, man. It was a really wild week. I had doctor appointments, a horrific dentist visit, all of the things, man. Like, it's just a very, very full week.
Yeah, but you sent me a video. I'm sorry, you sent me a video. I thought you were leading me in for affirmation. I saw the video.
I
received the evidence. Yeah, did you at least play Britt Baker DMD entrance theme on your way to or fro?
No.
That makes me happy when I do that, even if the dentist is atrocious.
No, I should have just showed Isaac Yankem videos and say, this guy is not who you think he is.
Different dental experience.
Yes, very, very different. No, I did not. I did make some references when I was in there, and they had no idea what I was talking about. But it was a time. They did their. I'll say this: they did their best. I had a lot of fillings to get that I've been putting off, and I didn't realize how many I had. I knew I had a couple. I think I announced on this pod when it happened probably 2 years ago, Tyler, that I've always had these deep pits in my teeth since I was a kid going to my dentist in Escanaba, Michigan. You got a lot of deep pits in your teeth. None of them are cavities. You just have pits in your teeth. That's just how your teeth formed. And I went like clean check, 12 cavities all at once. nothing 12. Like, how does that happen? Every one of my pits that were in my teeth just decided to become cavities in that span of time. In 6 months that all occurred. And I went in and they're like, you got 12 you got to take care of at some point. They're all shallow right now. And I got my crown, and I got 5 of them on this side, and then I've been finding reasons not to get the other ones done, and I was like, I may as well just get them done. But we did all 7 on this side at once. 7.
Okay, so I didn't know the number. There were 7 that
7,
you took care of last
5,
week.
7, 12. So I did 7 on this side, and one of them was in the back, and I don't know what they were. I don't know if they had some sort of like gum spanner they jammed up on there, and like I wasn't all the way numb, number one. So I felt it for part of it. And I was like, you know what? It hurts, but not bad. I'm just going to white knuckle it. And then it got to a point where I was like, nope, feel it, hand up. Like,
You did that. You put
did
the hand up.
I was like, oh,
Good
the
for
hand is up.
you.
And
We
I was like,
not
I'm in.
not enough of
I'm in.
us. Not enough of us actually take up the doctor, the dentists on
Yeah.
that, because they always ask us. At least in my
Yeah.
experience, I've been fortunate. They always say if it's too much, let them know. But then I'm like, oh man, if I
Don't want to inconvenience them.
how am I gonna look if like the 12-year-old
Yeah.
in the space next to me, it seems fine, but good for you. No, that's courageous.
Well, the thing is that it's I want to get out of there. My mouth had been open for an hour. I didn't want to be there anymore.
This sounds like a 90-minute plus appointment.
Yeah.
You had.
Yeah, I think my appointment was at noon. I got out of there at about 1:45.
Wow.
It was
were they playing Jason Mraz over the speaker? Was that at least soothing?
No,
We
they
had a
did
very
have
nice
Maroon
Jason
5. They
Mraz.
did have Maroon 5, and they had some other stuff up there.
We also spoke about Maroon 5 before we recorded. Okay.
Yes, we did.
Very good.
Yes, we did. But this week is a big week, Tyler. We have Juneteenth coming up. And we also have something happening on Juneteenth. That is not only the 19 Media anniversary. What is it? 4 years now?
4 years.
4 years since its inception. It is. We should celebrate that more. Maybe we can all get on the jet, go somewhere. But we the 19 jet that we allude to all the time. But Tyler is launching a new venture. I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited for him, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let him tell the people about 4AZ, Tyler.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate that lead. I even know you were going to lead me into this, so I am elated and just so grateful for you. Yeah, man. So like you said, 4AZ, it is a project I've been working on exactly 1 year ago. Simply 4% of Arizona's educators are Black, and I believe that they deserve a platform. We deserve a platform for our stories to be showcased. So that's where 4AZ comes in. It is a podcast. It is a show that I am launching on Juneteenth, as Brad mentioned, this Wednesday. You can get all the details at 4AZ Teach on Instagram, on X. You can search 4AZ on Facebook, 4azteach.org. Brad, we got all the links. We're on YouTube, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify. We already have just a pretty, not even pretty, we have an extremely phenomenal group of guests lined up, stories that I think you're going to really enjoy. Veterans of education. We have people who are relatively new to the profession. We have people kind of in that middle space, but nonetheless, just amazing people who I happen to know who are so good at what they do and have stories that I think will really resonate with audiences out there. So super excited to launch it. I'm super grateful for you for creating the overlay for the show. I can't wait for people to see it. Shout out to my man Aaron for working on the logo for 4AZ. I've just had so many people help me get to this point who believe in me, who support me, and I wouldn't have been able to reach this space without them. So thank you. I can't wait for you to check it out. I can't wait for our audience to check it out. Again, at 4AZ Teach. Let me know. If you don't like it, don't say anything. And if you do like it, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things I'm supposed to say as a podcaster. But no, it means a lot to me. It's very personal, deeply personal, and it is something I'm excited to share with the world.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I've actually been avoiding watching it. I've had the opportunity to watch these interviews for a while, and every time I log in and have to get a GI app off StreamYard, I think, oh man, I should just watch this. No, he might have stuff in there, and like maybe he's got to edit it out, and I don't want to touch that until it's the way that it's meant to be seen by the world, which is coming up very soon. Super excited for that, for you. Grateful to be here to witness the greatness. Cannot wait to see it. Tyler, what else I can't wait to see is you someday as a father. That's right. It's time to play the music for someday when you have kids.
And now it's time for
I'm crazy.
Someday
Someday.
when you have kids.
You're crazy.
No, Tyler, I don't have an announcement for your soon to be child. as I made it sound like you were pregnant with your partner. They're like, I can't wait for you to be a father. It's like, no, and just in general, it'll be cool. Man, Father's Day is a lot of fun. Having a child at this age, 6, almost 7, we're still kind of egocentric, and it's, what do I get to do for this person? There's a lot of that. It's always with the best intentions. It's never consciously self-centered, but it's like, no, I need to make the card. I want to make the card. It's not, I want to make this card because I know it'll mean so much. It's, no, I get to draw, and I get to color, and I get to cut, and I get to paste. I don't really care why. It's, I want to do that. But then all of that doesn't matter when you watch your kid hand you this thing that they put their time in, and you light up because they made this thing for you, and you see it in their face, the joy and how much that means to them. And just that little moment where they can turn around and be like, what a, just a dreadful drawing, or a terrible song they made, or whatever else it is. You show that little crumb of appreciation to them because you know they're trying their hardest, and you know they're just loving what they do and having fun. When they glow, man, it makes all of it worthwhile. The difficult nights of, no, you can't have another Uncrustable, go eat some real food, to put down the chocolate milk, or, you know, you didn't have to jump onto the couch. You could have simply sat there. All of those little moments, we have them. It's part of parenting. Got to keep your kids safe. Got to make sure they're eating okay, and all of that. Got to keep them alive. All of those things. But then you have these little moments where you realize that this is what that means. This is what they were talking about when they said you'll understand someday. Because, man, nothing has made my life fuller than becoming a father. And having Dad's Day is really a celebration of her for me, more than it is a celebration of what I clean a toilet every once in a while and take out the trash. It's not that deep. So getting to celebrate being a father rather than having people celebrate me for just existing is so much different to me. That's the way I choose to look at it. And it gives me a deeper appreciation for my dad and for the fathers in my life. So happy Father's Day, belated at this point, to all the fathers out there who are listening. Shout out to all the people in 19. Shout out to Mike. A lot of great dads in our midst and in our lives. And I'm just so grateful that I get to be able to share that with everybody who is listening or watching, and with you.
That's such an interesting lens. Well, thank you. That's such an interesting lens to view this day from, right? That's a celebration of your child. It's a celebration of Freya more than it is you. I'm sure Jess, Freya, and the people in your life will say, no, it's about celebrating Brad and the awesome man and the great dad he is. But for you to kind of view it as, no, it's a celebration of the child that I created with my partner. That's really beautiful, man.
I think
Really
it makes more sense to me. Like, what's the dad's job on Father's Day? Because most people would say, like, dads don't have jobs on Father's Day.
Correct.
Right? Like, that's it. Go relax. Go do this. I'm like, man, I'm relaxed. I've been relaxing. I don't need to get more relaxed. I've just been sitting around all day. But if I can spend some time reflecting on, like, okay, we're celebrating Father's Day. That's because I'm a father, and really reflect on what that means and how I got here and who helped me get here in the first place. That means so much more to me. So I just, I think about, like, what I'm doing now and what my life is like with a kid, and what my parents' lives were like, had to have been like with us growing up. Because I have that perspective, but I don't have their perspective. And now I feel like I do a little bit. It's just so much better knowing the way I was and how different it could have gone. To have such wonderful parents and to have such a great dad and role model. Just really blessed.
Well said. Well, on the note of perspective, Brad, I want to get your perspective on the big wrestling show from the weekend. Of course, we're talking about Clash at the Castle from Glasgow, Scotland, WWE's latest premium live event. This was a 5-card PLE, and we're just going to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
The first match, Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles. So Rhodes successfully defended his undisputed championship. He made the Phenomenal One say, "I quit." What'd you think of this match?
Honestly, this might have been my favorite match of the night. I don't know. It was different. I didn't think there was any. Everybody was trying to work themselves into believing that AJ might pull this off because Cody's mom went. I wasn't stressing about this at all. It was always
not
going
announced.
to be Cody, not even a little bit, which is why it kind of took me out of it at times. Cause I'm like, all right, I'm just watching this carnage happen, but it was a great, fun match. I thought, the rope monster struck first in this match, which would strike several times on this card. I'm going to say this for the overall pay-per-view experience for me, Tyler. I said this in one of our chats. This was a really kind of mediocre wrestling event that was elevated to really, really fun, good status by the crowd. The crowd was incredible through this whole match. The F chants were loud and surprising to hear so clearly on WWE audio. Glad it was a PLE. That was different. And AJ leaning into it, swearing in the match. You know that's a finable offense at some point in the recent past. Is now like, no, let's just go out there and do what we do best. And that we had to probably, my guess is that they're doing this now because they get to do this now and be free and have these kinds of matches that they just weren't allowed to have to this extent. Like Cody murdered AJ after the match with the stairs because he was going to kill him. And he's like, no, I quit. And then murdered him anyway. I love that from our champion. Love that from our champion.
I love that from our champion.
AJ went after Mama. Mama hesitated a little bit on that first slap and then got in several clean ones.
Multiple times. Yeah. I my favorite part of this probably wasn't even the steps or Mama Rhodes slapping AJ. I love when AJ said the ref brought the mic to him. Do you quit? I forget what happened. It was something brutal. So the ref goes over to AJ.
Oh yeah.
Do you quit? And AJ says, "Screw you, Cody Rhodes."
Yes, he gave the full name.
I don't always have sophisticated taste. That works perfectly for me. That was my favorite moment.
No, that's it. We're watching these men in long underwear fight each other for fun. And it's our entertainment and our enjoyment. So like sometimes you get the Godzilla let them fight moments and it's all right. Like who's complaining? I thought it was a lot of fun, man. I thought maybe a little long, but it made sense.
Yeah, longest match of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by quite a bit. Mm-hmm. By quite a bit.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Brad. If we can just kind of look at this show holistically, yeah, pretty mid. I know sometimes people will say, "Oh, this was just a glorified house show," which feels like some major shade throwing.
Yeah, I don't want to say that.
Yeah, and
the stories all made sense. They did a good job building this pay-per-view.
Yeah, they did. And we'll talk about some. Yeah, we'll talk about some of the finishes, particularly on the. I was going to say the next two, but probably the next 3 out of 4 matches that we may have questions about. I don't really know how you feel. We wanted to wait to talk about it on this episode. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was fun. Again, I shared the part that popped me the most. The right guy won way too early for Cody to drop, even if he would just get it back from AJ. I enjoyed that this opened the show as well. I think in terms of placement, Cody, AJ opening, and then Drew, Damian closing made a ton of sense.
Yeah.
The crowd loves Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what, when I'm watching these shows that Cody's on, sometimes I just kind of sit there watching and I think, what must it feel like to be Cody right now? Just the journey that he's been on and to literally go anywhere, not only in the country, Brad, but in the world and be treated like a conquering hero.
Yeah.
What must that feel like? I remember this was maybe the end of my 3rd or 4th year teaching. It was the last day of class for seniors. And at the end of it wasn't even a lesson, right? Because it was the last day, but at the end of my, I guess, speech, the kids clapped for me. And I almost just like melted right there. I said, I've done everything I needed to do in life. I've made it. I did okay for this class. That was maybe 30 seniors.
Yeah.
I could only imagine Cody France, Scotland, Glendale, Arizona,
Yeah.
just being cheered by thousands of people who are singing your song and are just so invested in not only your character, but your story. Um,
Yes.
Truly, like I'm really happy for him. I can only imagine what that must feel like to be him, um, during this title reign. So very long-winded way of saying satisfied with the opener. Right guy won, and I had fun watching it.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. Okay, our next match was the women's tag triple threat match. I think that's what it was considered, right? Triple threat tag match. Okay, the champions came in. We were talking about Jade Cargill before we got on air here. Bianca and Jade come in champions, and they got to face Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, which I actually really like that pairing, and the Unholy Union, who walked away victorious. I was surprised. I guess I shouldn't have been. Who needs the star making performance more on that roster? Is it Bianca and Jade? Kind of feel like they don't need that. And that sets up a potential feud between Bianca and Jade in the future, even though I kind of like them tagging for a while. Shayna and Zoe Stark, like they're fine. But Alba Fire and Isla Dawn winning gold on the main roster is going to be fun since they're I don't know, they seem like a proper tag team. They're a tag team that makes a lot of sense and not just a tag team that's sort of cobbled together. I really like that. They were the only tag team that came in with a name, right? Like the other ones were like the tag team of these people. It's not like FTR came out announced as Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, not FTR. So I really liked it. I thought the finish of this match was fun. I don't feel like it was overbooked. I thought it made a ton of sense. They weren't winning. I don't know. They did tag team stuff. They didn't cheat. They were just smarter than their opponent, got the pin. I could have done with better placement for Shayna Baszler's body since she had to like turn her head like that. So it wasn't underneath the rope. But I'm glad that when she went for the cover, it was Isla Dawn, I think, that did the cover and the pin, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Isla hit Jade with the German suplex, and then
Alba grabbed Jade's boot to keep her from coming into the ring.
Right.
It was Isla made sure to do a really good pin, grab her underneath, and pull her arms and stuff away from the ropes. I appreciated the subtle, like, I got to make sure this is a pin, and pinned her for the win. The Scotland pop was awesome. I loved this. I thought this, like, the finish and the moment was really great. I thought the match itself was hard to keep track of sometimes what was going on in there. And I thought there was some, like, just weirdness chemistry wise between all of them. I can't imagine how difficult it is to work a triple threat. So no shade or anything. I just thought it was like, I don't know. It was a fun match. And once again, the rope monster, I don't know what was going on that the ref had to warn everybody about the ropes, but the ropes being a problem in the opener. And then Jade didn't even look like she slipped. It just looked like the rope didn't have the same kind of, I don't know what happened there, but there was clearly some rope issues going on, and it bit again, not as hard as in the main event, but the rope monster did bite here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, 12 minutes for this match seems really, really short for a triple threat tag team match with all these women being absolutely awesome in every sense. Especially Jade is literal awesome, huge, powerful, unstoppable. But I like how they took her out on the outside and had to beat her down to just keep her away for a little while. I thought that was all great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the match really, after that rope moment with Jade, it seemed like it got clunky, and actually reminded me of Jade and Bianca's match versus Kyrie and Asuka. Mm-hmm. But also, I think you and I approach these conversations, Brad, with real humility, in that we don't know what it's like to be in that situation. And let's not forget that this wasn't in the first 2 minutes of the match. This is after 7-8 minutes. You're probably winded.
So tired.
Like, Brad, I'll play basketball. I was playing pickup the other day, and just maybe 3 or 4 up and backs, and I was already gassed. I had my fill of cardio for the whole day. I said, okay, this is it for me. I'm ready to just exit and, I don't know, go on the bicycle or something a little more low impact. So shout out, like you said, to these women for being awesome, and for being able, I mean, they're all of them are uber professionals to be able to continue the match, even if it looked a little bit sloppy at times. I was also completely shocked by the conclusion of this. I thought it was a layup that Jade and Bianca were going to retain. Once Isla Dawn and Alba Fire won, it cemented to me that Drew McIntyre was not winning in the main event,
Same.
which we'll
Same.
get to.
Yeah.
And I guess I've reached a place now, being able to process the show 24 to 48 hours later, where I think I'm okay with them booking the women to win this match, sacrificing the title reign, the dominance of Jade and Bianca, knowing Drew wasn't going to win. I think it is important to do some service for the hometown fans, and it's a huge moment for both of those ladies.
Yeah.
So I'm still processing that end. I don't understand why Shayna was the person to take the pin.
Yes.
Given that she just lost to Lola Vice in NXT Underground.
Thank you.
At their
had the same thought.
biggest show of the year. That was a head scratcher for sure. And maybe in the weeks to come, we'll see more of that. I also love Zoe Stark, and I want her to win matches.
Do you think Shayna is the most bulletproof one in there though? Or is it Bianca? Besides Bianca?
I don't know that Shayna's bulletproof at this point.
She's taking too many bullets.
I think, and we talked about her in the lead up or the follow up, I think, really to Underground
NXT,
the Lola Shayna match, which was really enjoyable. But at this point, I don't know that Shayna's bulletproof. I think now, I wouldn't say her character that there's been irreputable harm done, but I think back to who she was in NXT and that first year or two on the main roster, and now we've just strayed so far from that.
Mm-hmm.
Very curious decision to have Shayna take the pin, but big moment for Alba and Isla. My question for you before we move on to the Intercontinental Championship match: how soon are Jade and Bianca? How soon is the split? Is it imminent, or do you see a world in which they get the titles back, or maybe they don't need the titles, but they'll still be friendly for how long? Are we getting it at Mania in Vegas, Brad? Is that when we get the one-on-one match?
Well, what's the next? Is Crown Jewel the next one?
I sure hope not.
For
PLEs?
Yeah, because it's not SummerSlam, right?
No, we got
August.
I'm going to give you very good news here. I think you're going to be happy. We got Money in the Bank in July.
Oh, I forgot.
Scotiabank Arena.
Oh, so I think
shout out to our Toronto listeners.
I'm hoping that they stay together. I think they need to challenge. Like we want a rematch. But I also think something's going to interfere there, and it's going to cost them the match or get them DQ'd or something. There'll be some kind of tomfoolery, and that's when Bianca or Jade start blaming each other, and that'll lead to a split that will lead to them at Money in the Bank in the same match trying to get the briefcase. That'll lead to them fighting each other, and we get the mini showdown in that match. I think we get that because that's like a teaser for things to come, right? And then that just builds to who knows.
Right.
SummerSlam, Rumble.
Yeah, I suppose I thought I expected them to be tag champs for a long, long time. I figured we had months of them running through the division.
Well, maybe that's what's going to happen here. Maybe the rematch is they take the belts right back. They gave them the Scotland moment, and now they're taking it back. Going, no. Here's the money. It's right
Life
here.
Comes at you fast.
Yeah.
So
potato the tag belts too.
Yeah, this will not be the last time we talk about Jade and Bianca, obviously. But that one-on-one match, whenever it happens, it has to be at WrestleMania. In my mind, there is no other option. There's no better place. I don't know that I want that at WrestleMania Vegas. For whatever reason, it seems like it's a little bit too soon for me. But that's also in April. We have many, many months to get there. Yeah. I just didn't expect them to drop gold so soon after being so dominant. But I agree with you. Great moment for the hometown fans. I'm really curious to see where Shayna Baszler goes from here.
Yeah, it's a great point, man. Our next match was Sami Zayn, champion, defeating Chad Gable. I liked the stories that were told in this. We had rope issues, but we had Sami beat Chad Gable after Chad Gable constantly getting distracted, taking out Maxine, and Otis finally flipping the switch on Chad Gable. That is going to be so much fun to watch play out. We're finally at that point, I think, where it's over now, and we get to see them square off, the two Olympians. It's going to be so much fun to just watch those two face each other. I was thinking about that, unfortunately, more than Sammy versus Chad Gable during this match, which I thought was pretty fun. I love both these wrestlers, that, and I thought it was a fun match. The Intercontinental Championship means something, thanks to Gunther. And I don't know when he's coming back and when he decides to go for the big title, but he's going to win that and hold it for the rest of time.
As soon as SummerSlam. Damian Priest versus Gunther.
Do you think that's going to be the move, or do you think he's going after Cody? Which brand is he on? He's on Raw?
He's on
right?
Raw. He's on Raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it has to be Damian Priest. Although Cody versus Gunther, to me, that's even a future WrestleMania match. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Whenever Gunther should be getting that shot at SummerSlam, I think that's in his King of the Ring contract language. I know Damian Priest just got the belt. He spoke in the press conference following the show, Brad, and said, "I'm not a transitional champion. Like, you all tell me I can't do something, watch me do it." I have a hard time believing Gunther isn't winning that championship match. It's like you said, he's gonna win it, and I think your words were he's gonna hold it for the rest of time.
Maybe the end of Judgment Day at that point.
Easily lean into a Finn versus Damian feud from there. Dom has his own thing with Liv, and whenever Rhea comes back, and then when Rhea hits Dom with the Riptide, you know that decibel meter they showed?
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
When Rhea hits Dom with the Riptide, that decibel meter is gonna go to maybe 110, 120. Yeah. It's just gonna be historic.
Amazing. And we're going to get this Rhea Ripley as a babyface is going to be.
Oh, yeah. Rhea back as a babyface, Roman back as a baby. We're going to be in a great spot.
When do you think Roman? SummerSlam or Money in the Bank? He's been gone for a while now.
He's been gone for a while. I'm going to go with SummerSlam.
I was thinking SummerSlam too, because imagine the SummerSlam, because I don't know if we're at that. They're still building up the bloodline as what it is, which is not good. I have not been enjoying this story at all. It's been very mediocre. It's like when the underbosses get control of, I guess if Harvey Two-Face's gang, if Two-Face, Harvey Dent, dies and one of Two-Face's gang members took over the gang, nobody knows who it is. Who's running the gang? Oh, it's Tim from Hardware. He's the gang leader now. And I sort of feel like that's what's going on here, even though I love Solo. He
may be Cody's next challenger.
But the de facto leader of this group is the mute. Like, he's the guy known for not speaking. So it's
who also lost a lot last year. Menacing, but then you look at the record, and it was something wild, like 0-34.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just something absolutely blasphemous. Yeah. I think that could be the Money in the Bank match for Cody. Is Cody versus Solo?
It makes sense. And then we have another Bloodline member coming up, and it's Zilla, right? Is the next one up, or is it Zilla or somebody else? I can't remember. But I saw they just trademarked. They just trademarked the name, and I know it was one of them is coming up.
Right. I think Jacob Fatu is
that's probably it then. Next. So if we have Jacob Fatu coming up, we know that's going to be some kind of match interference at some point. And there's going to be a promo at the end of that, like the Bloodline, we run things, blah, blah, blah. And then Roman's music's going to hit. That's going to be the moment.
100%.
I do that.
Do you think he wrestles at SummerSlam?
No.
Really?
I don't think he wrestles at SummerSlam.
The card doesn't need Roman filling up the Cleveland Browns stadium.
No, just let him finish the show. I think the end of the show should be his music playing to whatever happened. The way that CM Punk's music played in Chicago at the end, and the place went nuts. I think Roman's music just playing anywhere in America at the end of SummerSlam. bonkers bananas. Like it's going to be extremely, extremely loud. All the hands are going to be in the air pointing one arrows up. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to see it. I
Yeah,
can't believe I forgot to talk about this after the Cody AJ.
Oh no, I'm glad. I'm
confrontation.
glad we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did. And your scenario makes me very happy. Should
Oh,
it
I
come
need to see
true?
it.
In terms of Chad and Sammy, bell to bell, these are two of the best on the entire roster.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Chad Gable to win.
Me too.
Uh, the play here clearly has to be Chad Gable doing away with Maxine Otis
Otis.
and Akira Tozawa,
Oh
and
yeah.
instead recruiting Ivy Nile and the Creeds.
Yeah.
Chad Gable recruiting them while being IC champion, and then the Creeds taking out Miz and R-Truth and becoming tag champs, and perhaps Ivy, situates herself in the women's title picture. Maybe not immediately against Liv, but in due time, she's there. To me, that would be a great mid card heel faction with gold. And there's something to be said
Like
when
like Kurt Angle's. Very, very
exactly
similar, right? Like
2.0
very
in many
similar.
ways, but
Yeah.
not a cheap knockoff, but just the 2024 version. And that this group is tremendous
Yeah.
from a work rate standpoint. I just think Chad Gable, he's gonna be great if he lines us up with the Creeds and Ivy, and I'm sure it's gonna be really awesome. But he just resigned with the company. I just assumed, it was no doubt, that he was going to leave Scotland with the gold, whether it was because of Otis interference or one way or another. I really thought he was going to beat Sammy. This is another case, kind of like with Shayna, where you build up these heels with in-ring prowess, with a mean streak. But then what does it mean if they never win the big one?
Yeah.
I think Sammy could have afforded a loss here. This was Chad Gable's moment. To me, it made so much sense to crown him after the run he's had over the last year. I don't like the fact that he lost. I thought this match was too overbooked. You're right, Brad. It got a great reaction from Scotland, the
For
Otis
that
stare
moment
down.
at the end, but there was too many of those throughout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Sammy pushes Chad Gable, and then Chad hits Maxine in the already injured leg. It's fun when I book this on 2K in story mode, but not
Yeah.
at this show. Not at this
Yeah.
point in Chad Gable's ascension. The match was extremely well worked. It was too overbooked for my taste, and I don't think the right guy won the match.
I think part of it was, they talk about booking these things and planning these things out months in advance. They probably already had this set in stone before he, ink wasn't dry on the contract yet, where they knew they were going into a resigning time. Do you want to make somebody a champion that you don't know will be with the company? And then if you're making plans for outside of that, then you can't really go back and change them. We know that's not true if it means The Rock is involved. But for this particular instance, I think that might have been a contributing factor. I don't know if it was, obviously, but that means in several months, maybe it plays out differently and Chad Gable gets the dub. But I'm with you, man. I thought for sure this was going to be Chad Gable's moment, but I also feel like that I would say maybe that needs to happen in Minnesota, but if he's a heel, it can happen anywhere. I kind of don't want it to happen anywhere near his home. Our next match up was Bayley and Piper Niven. I was a little going into this. I was a little unsure if Bayley was going to retain here with Piper Niven in Scotland wrestling, but like you, as soon as the tag champs were crowned, I was like, yeah, nobody else, no other titles are changing hands tonight. Everybody's retaining after this. And it's basically what happened here. So I didn't love this match. There was weird crowd energy. Bayley was clearly the heel here, but wasn't getting all the way heel reactions because she was still working as a babyface. But they wanted Piper Niven to win. They were chanting for the hometown hero, and I thought that was really great. They weren't disrespectful to Bayley, but they were also kind of booing her sometimes, and it was just a weird energy for the whole match. It made me kind of go like, "What am I watching?" And it's not really any fault of the people that were in the ring. It was mostly the crowd on this one. But I know there was more rope stuff in this match. And it was, it was a 13-minute match that, here's what I'm grateful for. Piper Niven got a big spot. More of that, please. And Bailey rules. More of that, please. That's it.
Amen. Yeah. I'll keep it brief. Well said on all the above. Great spot for Piper Niven. Bailey's run, it needs to be longer. There's just, I think her losing in this spot would have done, it just would have done harm. Like we've been building her for so long. She beat Io at WrestleMania. I think Bailey's run needs to last well into the rest of the year. Finally, Chelsea Green, just a phenomenal signing by WWE.
So
we'll have to at some point do kind of a review of the signings they had. I forgot when she re-signed with WWE, Brad, when she came back, but I want to say it was maybe 2022.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Right. I don't think it was
Summerish.
2023. I think summerish. Well, let's call it. She's been great, and she's been someone who I think has really elevated her stock since rejoining the company. She was obviously hungry and motivated as can be, and she's been doing amazing character work. Obviously, she got tossed by the ref, a big trope in pro wrestling. She got sent out relatively early, but I think she adds a lot to what Piper Niven had going on heading into this match. But yeah, Bailey should win. She did win, and I'm glad Piper Niven got this spotlight as you laid out.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out when it was, but I want to say it was 2022. I know
she was
released in. Wow. Yeah, she was released from NXT right in 2021 when she came back from injury and then immediately broke her wrist.
Right. On SmackDown, I remember watching that.
And then they released her not long afterward when they did the giant layoffs or cuts, and then she ended up going into TNA for a little while again and worked herself back on. She was in the Independence. She was in that GCW, the infamous GCW with Matt Cardona, where she distracted the wrestler by whipping him out, and the internet broke for a little while. I remember the reaction and thinking like, wow, what a disgusting, toxic place this is. But it was hilarious, but it was also like the reaction from the IWC. Not awesome, my friend. So glad she's here and gets to be creative and over the top, ridiculous Karen. It's so fun to watch. She's great. She is, in a lot of ways, I'm not sure when she comes back where Carmella is going to fit character wise if she's on the same show as Chelsea Green, because that's very similar. Very, very similar. So I don't know what they do there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. There is some overlap.
But Carmella is still out. Alexa Bliss is still out. An embarrassment of riches in this women's division. Our main event, Tyler, Damian Priest defeating Drew McIntyre to retain by pinfall or punk fall, however you want to look at this. This was a fun-ish match that I liked a lot of. Was really scared, and that took me out of it when Damian Priest got tied up upside down by his ankle in the ropes, and is after the match he's fine. Everybody's good. I thought Drew talked us through it really well. He grabbed his leg and looked at the ref and is like, "Do I keep going?" And Damian's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just stuck." So Drew just starts kicking the shit out of him on the outside of the ring. I thought that was great. And then it was like, I can't win if he's outside the ring. And he said it out loud like that to let people know, like, those are the rules. So Drew just hoisted him up, got him over the ring, got him untied out over the top rope, which incredible feats of strength by both of these men to get back into the ring. Just unbelievably strong. And I think like we've seen them live. And if people haven't seen these people live, they are enormous human beings. This is not hoisting me over the top rope, all 5'7" of me going over the top rope. I don't even know. I'd have to go through the middle rope. Like these are giants. These are giants. So having these people
that's hilarious. The middle
foist each other over the top, many minutes into a match where they're already like probably a little bit tired. and then potentially injured and all of these things. And then for Damian Priest to continue to sell the leg, even though it wasn't part of the match script, it was just organic. Like, my leg got tied up, I'm going to sell it like I hurt myself. Added to the match. It was great. It was booked really well till the end. I don't hate it. I'll say that. I don't hate it. If there wasn't other distractions in other matches, I would have hated it a lot less. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, I'm really glad that the run-in at the end happened after the match. The triple threat tag match, we didn't really need a run-in. There was already 6 people in the ring. Sammy and Chad, there was so much stuff happening in that match. I didn't love it. And then we had Bayley and Piper. And then with this, the CM Punk story interfering with Drew McIntyre's life, though, that's been a story they've been telling for months now. Of course it was going to happen. I kind of loved how they pulled it off. I didn't have a problem with this. Lots of people had a problem with it. This is the only one I didn't really have a problem with. I thought it made sense for the story they've been telling. Damian Priest won the title, cashing in his briefcase off of Drew McIntyre, who got cocky. CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre the belt. Drew wanted to get in there after like trying to bury Punk for months on social media, in arenas, all of that stuff. And who cost him that championship belt back? CM Punk. Loved it. Made a ton of sense. Damian Priest ended up looking pretty good out of this because he did ultimately win without the Judgment Day's help, technically. Not with outside interference, but without the Judgment Day help. So I didn't hate it, man. It set up the story. It set up the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre feud. That showdown is going to be epic. I hope. I think it's going to do numbers. I feel like that's going to main event to pay-per-view, and it won't even be for a title. This is why SummerSlam next year is going to be going 2 nights. It's stuff like this where it's like, that's the story that should be told main eventing. There doesn't need to be a stake other than they hate each other's guts. Or maybe they save that for Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Or maybe they do both.
Yes, and yes.
I know you hated this.
No, I did. I totally did.
Yeah.
With Ricochet possibly exiting the company, and we haven't talked about that yet, but we did last week.
Yeah.
It's clear to me, especially after the show, it's clear to me that Drew McIntyre is now my favorite wrestler.
He's so good
on the men's roster in WWE. You know, Brad, anyone who knows me and my fandom, I've been a Drew guy for a long time. I just think he's the perfect wrestler for all the reasons. So I wanted him to win. I knew it wasn't going to happen. The CM Punk run-in was extremely predictable. But for all the points you said, it made a ton of sense. The way he ran in was very it was just very pro wrestling. The way they shot it, the 2 count, it was very.
I didn't notice it was him at first.
Really, I knew instantly. I was like, okay, the way they're shooting this, I knew it was. Oh, that's Phil. We know Phil.
Oh, I'll tell you why. I was getting a drink. I didn't see it. I just heard, oh, there's a ref coming in. And I was like, oh, cool. And then they showed inside the ring, and then they showed the ref slide in, and I was like, oh, cool. Yep. And then I just saw the blur, and I was like, 1, 2, and then
they did it.
The little T sign, the two.
So yeah. Okay, going back to what you said, because you laid it out perfectly. This is a great build to SummerSlam. This is another match you can put on the poster that doesn't even need a championship. So you can have Punk versus McIntyre, Priest versus Gunther, Cody versus whomever. We haven't even talked about the amazing women's division. It makes all the sense. This makes their pronouns, pal, Drew and Punk's match even more. There's even more vitriol. There's even more venom there because of what Punk has now done. I just wanted Drew to walk away with gold. He didn't win at Clash the previous time because of Solo Sikoa debuting and interfering. And this felt really similar to me, different, but similar in that regard of Drew being screwed. However, I think that's what they want. They want us to be really mad at Punk. They want us to root for Drew. They want us to tune in at, say, SummerSlam when this grudge match happens. It could easily be a night one main event next year if they had 2 nights this year. Yeah, man. So it made all the sense. The Drew McIntyre fan in me was in my feelings for many hours following the show. But for all the reasons you said, I think it was the right move, even if it was predictable. And McIntyre versus Punk, that's probably the match I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah,
at SummerSlam,
100%.
And there's not even a title on the line.
Yeah, great storytelling. It works every single time. Speaking of matches, Tyler, there's another kind of match. And we haven't talked about it on here in a very long time. Let's bring it back. It is time for another edition of A Rose from Tyler. So play the music.
And now, for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
Believe it or not, season 21 of The Bachelorette is upon us in just a few weeks in July. We had to fit in this segment, Brad, because Jen Tran's cast has been released. Jen Tran is the lead for this upcoming season. You may recall she was from Joey's season, the most recent version of The Bachelor. Here is the kind of synopsis of who Jen is on the official Bachelorette website. It says, Tran is a sweet and compassionate woman who has dedicated her life to helping others and is currently studying to become a physician assistant. The bilingual Vietnamese beauty currently resides in Miami and is ready to find love with a man who's as reliable and thoughtful as she is. When she's not studying, Tran loves reading, paddleboarding, and traveling whenever she has the chance. She's fantastic. She's stunning. I'm sure the season is going to be enjoyable. Here is the very, very quick breakdown of the 25 men. There's an algebra teacher from New York who used to play in the XFL. Maybe the person we're going to be rooting for, Brad. Stay tuned. There is Dakota, who is a 27-year-old sommelier from, get this, Paradise Valley, Arizona.
I'm looking at the cast right now.
PV. I don't think he has a shot, but I'm gonna be rooting for him respectfully. Dakota from PV. He's our guy, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping tabs.
Oh, he has no shot.
He has no shot.
Yeah.
Finally, Brett.
That's harsh.
28, a health and safety manager from Pennsylvania. He's been receiving. You know, I come on here and I give you the latest scoops from Batch Nation, Brad. Brett has been receiving the most love from Bachelor fans. If you check him out, he really stands out because he looks like an everyday man. He doesn't look like the model type, abs on abs on abs. You look at him and you think, oh man, this guy is giving total teddy bear vibes.
Yes.
And he's
but
already
also could probably move your car with his hands.
100%. Very strong man, I'm certain.
Yes.
He's already the babyface, already the fan favorite, and we haven't even seen episode 1. We're weeks removed from it. Finally, the most outlandish profession. There's one of these dudes who is a pet portrait entrepreneur.
Spencer, 30, out of Dallas, Texas.
Spencer is on this cast. He is for sure getting booted after the first night. Maybe he makes it to week 2 just for ratings purposes. Maybe he's a draw. I'm sure we'll get to Spencer on our official preview of the season in a few weeks. But Brad, all this is really a way for me to lead into my question for you, which is related to your recent anniversary. Congratulations to you and Jess.
Thank you.
16 years. I simply want to know, how does it feel? And any reflections, any lessons from the past year as you head into this new season with each other?
After yesterday, I think we both were talking to each other, and it's difficult to just find time for us when you have, Jess is working on 2 different projects while working full time, plus doing 2 podcasts. One of them coming out very soon. I believe July 10th is or around that time.
We got a date.
We're
Let's go.
going to be seeing the podcast coming out. Yep. More on that later, I'm sure. And I get to help produce this, so it's been fun from that end. Not having to do any of the actual pod work, but just sort of being there has been great. And we don't have time for each other. Not just us. And if we do, it's let's sit down and we'll watch Curse of Oak Island or The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, which I really should bring back. And weird stuff happening there, man. All of these little things, like I want to go watch The Acolyte, the Disney Star Wars show. We've seen the first episode together. I think there are 2 or 3 more waiting for us, but it's just when. So it's our reflection is we got to try to be better at making more time for each other, because we know we still want to. And I think that's the important part. It's not that we are avoiding each other in the same house. I know some marriages end up devolving into that, where it's like, no, it's just a game of when can we go do our own thing and avoid each other. And I don't get that. For us, it's been like, well, how do we make more time for each other? And how do we find time to spend with each other? So it's been great. And the fact that we still want to be around each other is really awesome. It's not just that we tolerate each other. It's that we want to be together. And that's pretty cool.
That's a win. When I reflect on what you said, I mean, we're talking about 16 years. I haven't even been with someone for 16 months, Brad. 16 years is a huge accomplishment. And the fact that you two not only still put up with each other, right? But like you said, want to be around each other and want to look for more ways to spend that quality time amidst your busy schedules as individuals, as professionals, as parents. That's just beautiful. And gives me hope, gives all of Bachelor Nation hope who are looking for their person. It's possible. Look at Brad and Jess. You can do it. It can be done.
Did you ever text that girl back, or are you still waiting for her? I'm just wondering. This is
the one I treated to pizza.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Listen, man, I don't even know if we have time to revisit this. I'm glad you enjoyed this. She has my number, and I bought the salad. We went to a pizza place, but we got salads. If she's interested, she can hit me up. Is that not how this works anymore? Where it's like
I don't know that it ever really worked that way. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I think this is clearly why I'm in the position that I am.
That might be it.
This is not a surprise at all.
I don't know. It was finding a really funny excuse. Sorry, I was working on my yard. You still up for another date?
Yeah, it's so much time has passed now that it's like, bad. Yeah, I think it's just yes.
If it makes you feel better, I did go on a date with somebody. This is high school. Went on a date with them. It was fine. Waited several months. Connected with them again, and then it was great, and we dated for a long while. So,
oh wow,
it's possible.
Wow.
You can always reach out again, and it's gonna seem desperate and sad, but like you can always.
Which was the whole impetus. I've been through my desperate and sad phase. No more.
It wouldn't have been desperate and sad the day after, but now it's desperate and sad if you reach out again.
Yeah, she was cool. She was real cool.
Oh, just do it. What do you got to lose?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are they going to do? Tell about you around school? If you made it this far, ladies and gentlemen, please send us a comment, DM me at Tyler, whatever you got to do. Let us know what Tyler needs to do. Maybe send me a text if you got my digits. Just at Tyler Dateless on Instagram and Twitter. Go get pizza instead of salads this time and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
What did we miss?
We missed a lot, but I have just 2 main topics, and one is actually a new segment, or maybe not a new segment. I've asked you this before, but the way I'm going to deliver it to you, Brad, is for sure brand new. I'm going to ask how do I want to phrase this? It's time for a temperature check, AEW edition. And I don't need long answers for these. I just need your immediate, basically your yay or nay. So when I ask you these 4 topics in AEW, when I say temperature check, you have 4 categories you can choose from. This program is either sizzling for you, it's warming up, it's cooling off, or it's Frostbite Jones.
Okay.
First, Mariah May, Toni Storm, and Mina Shirakawa.
Warming up for me.
Very good. And you followed the instructions perfectly. You must be in education. Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland.
Oh, sizzling.
I like it. MJF versus Roosh, opening up Dynamite this week, commercial free.
Last week I would have said warming up. I'm going to go sizzling. These guys hate each other. They're going to beat the crap out of each other, and I can't wait to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm so happy I positioned this one last. The Learning Tree.
Frostbite Jones.
Me too. Good answer.
Has been Frostbite Jones since it started.
The Bad Apple, the Redwood, and Chris Jericho now beefing with Private Party.
It just
doesn't feel. It's Frostbite.
It's bad. It's so bad.
And it's ironically bad, right? Like that. That's the whole bit. That's why we're not supposed to like them. We're supposed to boo. But this is one of those Chris Jericho character reinventions that I think it's major Frostbite.
I'm going to say this. I think the character reinvention is working for Chris Jericho. I hate it, but I think it's working. He's made it work. I don't know why he needed a stable. I know why he's doing the Learning Tree, but he could have gone from person to person to person to person and not needed to like collect talent along the way. I know it's more people get screen time this way, but Big Bill did not need this. Big Bill is fine on his own. Let him go be a monster and kill people. Like Big Bill, he's charismatic on the microphone. I didn't know he could talk until he got to AEW. So let him talk and let him, like, I love the way he interacts with the crowd in his matches. He's so condescending. He's great.
He's phenomenal. Also one of the largest human beings
I've
ever seen. You mentioned that earlier with the WWE house show. We've also seen Big Bill live. Ginormous. Can confirm.
He should just go like, I want a shot at the TNT title. Okay. And then win it. Like in 3 minutes, because he's giant.
He should. He's very good. This is positive. How do I want to phrase this? And then I'll get to my final.
Now we got the bounty hunter in the Learning Tree.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Brad. So for Brian Keith, this is giving him consistent, no pun intended, TV time. I don't know where he would be getting that if not a part of the Learning Tree consistently, but
it's a no-brainer where to put him. It's the easiest thing in the world where to put him. If you need to put him with somebody, you put him with the other cowboy. That's the tag team I want to see.
That would be fun. He could still be a heel too with Hangman.
Yes. Well, now
they would probably get over as baby faces,
yeah. But like once he splits from the Learning Tree, if he and the Hangman get together, the bounty hunter and the Hangman as a tag team, like I don't know what they call them, some Old West related theme could be incredible.
Yeah, fun merch opportunities.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and the music, the entrances, I think it would all rule. Coming out with the band, like let's just get out of here, man. Like it would be so much fun watching that, and I think those two might be a really fun combination of styles to work with, and their characters are just so different and so similar in a lot of ways that I think it would work. And I would love to see something like that. Good. I would love it, but right now it's Frostbite Jones.
Yeah. You're not wrong there. I totally agree with you. My second and final, what did we miss? Ashe 4 is this Saturday, headlined by Shelton Benjamin versus Jonathan Gresham, Charlotte, North Carolina. The show should be epic. Can't wait. What did we miss, B?
Well, in a couple of days here on the 20th, it's my daughter's birthday. So happy birthday to Freya. I doubt she'll be watching this, but happy birthday anyway. Really, really cool. Not in the literal sense, it will be 110 degrees at least down here. So I don't know what's going to be like, but we'll be up in the valley here in less than a week, probably cooking out there too. But really excited about that. And Klay Thompson unfollowed the Warriors, unlinked himself from a whole bunch of Warrior tweets, including
I missed this.
Oh yeah, big time.
This is not it to work.
We
never have a segment this late in the.
No, it is what you missed. Yeah. See, it's a whole thing, man.
Never told.
It's a whole thing. I don't really have anything else other than I hope everybody had a good Father's Day. And shout out to all of those of you who can't celebrate with your fathers. Hopefully you were able to get through the day, and hopefully you're doing well. Just thanks for hanging out with us for over an hour now. We haven't done an over an hour app in a while.
Yeah.
Right,
well said, my friend. I appreciate you so much. Like Brad said, to all of our listeners and viewers, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. The Yankees lost, so please like, subscribe, comment, and share.